Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Long kicks out. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies.
This is Mark. Mark goes to let's go see Mark. Let's go to the movies or something. What?
No, good. Hey guys, welcome to Mark Goes to the Movies. This episode, not about movies again. I know you're talking, you're interested. I got The Mummy coming up later this week. I did Face It Up last week, The Mummy this week. This one, special request about how I caught a serial killer. Help protect serial killer. How I handed it, my thumb in it, is not as wrong words. I have a pinky. Well, it is doing worse. How I was involved in help catching one. So this was 99. Yeah, it was a summer. It was a summer, yeah. Summer 99. We lived in Thebes, Illinois. It's close to Cape Dorado. It's on the river. It's on the Illinois side of the river. Deep southern Illinois. The guy's name is I'm gonna butcher his name. Like he butchered people. His name is Angel Monterino Resendez. He's also known as the Railroad Killer. He was a Mexican serial killer responsible for 23 murders across the U.S. in the 1990s, including a double murder in southern Illinois. He traveled by jumping on and off freight trains, targeting victims near railroad tracks. So I'm gonna tell you a story about how he started off, and then I'll tell you why I came across the guy. This was in Gorham, Illinois. That's when he first started out. That was his first kill. He murdered George Marber, who was 80, and his daughter Carolyn Frederick, who was 52, in their home. He used a shotgun to kill Marber, and he beat Frederick with the weapon. Aftermath, he stole a truck from the scene, in which he later found in Cairo. So if you're not familiar, I advise using a map for all this. He was traveling south, I believe, because they caught him in Texas. Oh wait, shit. I'm gonna put stop right there now. All right, so Gorham to Thebes, Illinois. He was traveling down the railroad track. It's 43 miles away. So Gorham is 43 miles from Thebes. Thebes, like I said, is a river town. So I guess some backstory. This is when we lived in the project. It was a project, big group housing, all the same building almost. There were like maybe 4 or 5 houses per section, and then you have the middle there. So one of the things as a kid, what they did is we're in the woods pretty much. It's surrounded by woods. So much stuff. Like I would be terrified to live the childhood I have now. I'm not going in the fucking woods. But what they did is there wasn't all. It was all government. The projects are owned by the government, so you can't like get a playground. There was a playground, but you can't like get your own stuff, right? Like we wanted a basketball court, is what it was, and it's a predominantly black neighborhood, so basketball was big, I guess. Not really baseball. Not enough people for baseball. We would pick up some games every now and then, but it was mostly basketball, as we was hoping for. Football, again, not enough people to get everyone in there to play football. Basketball, you don't need all people. You need 2 people, not even one person. Shoot a basketball is what you need. So there was, God, that's gonna sound weird. So a circle of houses on the inside, and then that circle was surrounded by other houses. They were kind of for the older people because they were single level ones. And then if you look up Google Maps, you'll be able to see it a lot better. But there was a patch of land behind those houses next to some railroad track, and a little patch of land is where we made a basketball court. Basically, it was just dirt. It was this dirt piece of land, and then they had a telephone pole or some kind of wiring pole, and they put square basketball up made out of plywood, and they put a rim and a net, and that was our basketball goal. And we play down there a bunch. We just play basketball. When we weren't doing that, we were exploring the woods. The river, we explore the river too, because like the river would get real low, and then we go across these little formations of rock and like build little clubhouses on them, and then try to get back over the river before like the river would get real low sometimes. And we lived right on the bridge, and there's no parents would watch us. Like we were free reign. And a couple times, like Stand By Me, we would see if we could cross the bridge with the train track. The train track break. So see if we could cross it, just like Stand By Me. See how far we get. But it was pretty long. It was across the Mississippi. So it was pretty long. When you do that, you get to Missouri, and you probably get a shit ton of trouble there. But yeah, see if you get across. And then I want to say someone fell and hurt themselves. It wasn't like far a fall, but I think that's I want to say that's what happened. Or that it was either that or one of my younger siblings uh, tagged along and then told my mom we was crossing the river on the river bridge. They didn't know about the river, but they knew about the bridge. I guess because Brian almost got swept away a couple times in the river, and no one said shit to my mom until who was much older. But basically, they were like, "Stay away from the fucking bridge. Like, don't go there. You could die." And then we got yelled at and like screamed at. I was like, "All right, it's not that big of a deal. None of us would ever make it across it anyways." That same bridge is funny because there was a time where my mom and my stepdad got into a fight, and my stepdad, who's a dumbass, real stupid. I remember him. He was gonna take because he lived 2 hours. My grandma lived in Sojay, so it was like 2 hour. I don't know where the fuck do you think he was going because I think unless it goes north, I guess maybe it goes north. But his plan was to jump on the railroad track in the train car and go north to his mom's house. It sounds really stupid now that I say it because he nine he was like an adult. He was in his probably late 20s, early 30s, and this dumb fuck was gonna get on a train track. I was like, I don't know. There's the last story in there too. But yeah, so we're told not to go on the railroad tracks. We put pennies on there, and they're like, can't do that. You're gonna derail the train, is what my mom told us. You put anything on the railroad track, and you could derail and kill a bunch of people. Stay away from the railroad tracks. It was drilled into our head. Do not touch the fucking railroad tracks, or you'll die. But one day, out there playing basketball, and the train stops, and I see some guy get off, and my brain immediately goes, "Oh shit! Not supposed to be on the railroad tracks. This man could die. This man could wreck the train. Do some shit." It looked very shady, anyways. It was like there's no Mexicans in Southern Illinois where I'm from, so immediately red flag, right? It's like, hey, this guy's in off railroad tracks. I need to go tell somebody. So my friend Alan Pyron, who was my next door neighbor, he was a little bit younger than I was. We told his parents. His parents were the good parents. Like they were good parents, right? Not that my parents were bad, but they were the kind of parents where they would actually care about some of the things you said. If you would tell someone, "Hey, I saw a guy get off the train," they would get involved. My parents probably just, cool, stay away from there. Don't touch the fucking railroad tracks. But Alan's parents, they got a hold of the news, and they came out there and they interviewed us because they had just, I guess the guy was wanted, but this little tiny thing, we're like, we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna do something good. We're gonna suck up to the parents by telling them something we saw. They got us on the news, and we was on there, and they're like, sit there and told the story about how he saw the guy, and sure enough, that helped figure out because I guess 43 miles north south. So they had no idea where he was going to if he got on the train. They didn't know if he was going north or south or east or west. But that helped kind of gather their track a little bit about where he was. And we got on the news, and my mom reported it. It was kind of funny. I wish I had that tape now because yeah, I was like 9 or 10 years old. About 10 years, yeah, 10 years old. Summer, I just turned 10, and man, I wish I would have it. That'd been great. But yeah, this guy he killed the guy with a shotgun and then murdered his daughter when she walked in on him with a crowbar. I think. Let's see. Let's get the whole story. So, following a massive manhunt, Resendez was voluntarily surrendered in July of 1999. So, from July to June, July. So, a month. He was on the foot for a month. He was sentenced to death in 1998 for the murder of Claudia Benton in Texas after he got caught. He was executed June 27th, 2026, as detailed on the Southern Illinois. And let's get his old backstop. Oh man, he was one of the 10 most wanted fugitives list. Let's see if he is. They just beat people. He beat them with a blunt object and then rape them. Rapist female victims. Very small guy. Yeah, like I said, you don't. We didn't see. You're either black or white in Thebes, Illinois. You see anyone in the other color, it's gonna throw off the suspicion. It's not racist or anything. It's just is what it is. Especially when you're getting off railroad track. Uh, so yeah, this is 1886. He murdered a few people beforehand. I don't know how this guy got off on some of this stuff. Apparently, he's been murdering people way before that too. That wasn't his first murder. That was his first murder of this spree. Oh no, Gorham, Illinois. That's where they got caught. No, his last murders were Gorham. He's murdered other people from the south. Oh, let's see. He had a bunch of shows on him. Let's see if there's anything else we can find on that. Yeah, Gorham's not very far away from Thebes. I should do this beforehand. Should have did more. Oh, it's funny name, huh? Let's go Thebes, Illinois. It is really funny how everything down in Southern Illinois is all Egyptian. My elementary school was named Egyptian. There's Thebes, Illinois. There's Cairo, Illinois. It's in Alexander County. Yeah, I guess it's it really. I mean, he killed a bunch of people, but I mean, wait, let me see that map. Yeah, so shit. Well, we could have stopped him in there. His last murders were in Gorham. That means he was going north. Maybe. Let's put where's Carroll on the map? This is why I need my chat GPT to. You're me a fucking map, huh? Alright, let's go. Let's take the route. Gorham to Carroll. So that's an hour. Alright, so this gives a little more map. He guess he must have been riding railroad track. Two thieves. Then he went to Gorham, so he went north. I guess he kills those two people, steals their car, and then drives down south, an hour and 7 minutes away. But yeah, he has to go through thieves to get to Cairo. Yeah, for those who don't know, Cairo. Wait, yeah, because I mean those are basically the back roads. He could have went down. Oh yeah, so goddamn, this guy went through all the places I lived. Grand Tower is where I went to Stony North. Wolf Lake, we lived in Wolf Lake. And then he goes down there. Olive Branch, Mounds, Carroll, yeah. And I guess that's where they found the truck. And they went further south. So he got busted. But yeah, that's how I helped get some serial killer up. I like to think I had a hand in it. At least on the way. I mean, he was a very wanted person, apparently. Top 10 most wanted for the FBI. While I'm here, before I end this episode, it's a short one, 15 minutes, but it wasn't that much of a story, I guess. We could have lumped this with another one. But this is 70, episode number 70. What I found out I can do is I can actually release episodes very far into the future. So some of these numbers are going to get uh, out there by a lot because they're going to be so far in the future. I'm going to do one for at least one for I don't know, the next 10 years. Every year you're going to get an episode released, probably on my birthday. So I'm going to do whatever number I'm on. The numbers are going to get out of order there. And I'm going to release them way into the future. So next year will be no whatever episode, and the year after that, I'll release another episode. And then we'll see when I can figure out which year I die. How far I go in there. So when I say I jump a bunch of episodes, you're like, this is episode 89. And like, well, where the fuck was episode 88? It's probably because it was in the future. I'm gonna do future episodes about where I think I'm at next year. But yeah, that's the story. And hopefully his ghost doesn't come to get me. The sun is all out coming up. Jesus, he's getting kind of light in the sky. That's a little scary. But yep, Mark goes to the movies.